Do you read me over?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field up with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah!
Get some. All right, what's going on, everybody? Friday night's eve, baby Friday. Well, shit, it's almost the weekend. And I got a really good show for you today. I will disclaimer: I have been having a little bit of mic issues. I think it's time to retire this this sound system that I got right here, and purchase a new one. So we'll see how it goes. All right, but hey, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is not only what I do as on the financial side, helping veterans put strategies together so that you can achieve your financial goals down the road. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to go on a vacation. Maybe you want to save for your kids' future, or whatever that may be, right? Because that we all know that the VA milk money or the retirement milk money, that's only temporary. We just want to leave something behind for our family so that after our absence, and we're gone, that everything is good to go. And also, we can also partake on all those things. So this show is in relations to that. And in addition to that, we're going to talk about VA claims and benefits. So today I'm going to show you how to fish and how to basically do things on your own. And so, but I don't want to give too much, let the cat too much out of the bag. So I'm going to bypass some of the things I usually talk about at the beginning of the show. Listen, if you want to get into the podcasting game, you can contact the folks at sitchradio.com. My man, Brian Colburn, is an amazing individual. He's not only the back end person in regards to Sitch Radio. He's the owner, the founder, and he has helped many other people get in the podcasting game and get into the industry. So if you need a good coach, a good mentor that knows about AI, among other things, I mean, this dude is an amazing individual, then for sure, I need you to hit up Brian Colburn at sitchradio.com. Okay. And listen, I love, I love, being here and sharing what I do and telling everybody about this amazing show. I need you to also help me out, like, subscribe, and follow in my other platforms. Please go to TikTok. Please go to my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my Facebook. The Field Up has over 7,500 followers, excuse me, on Facebook. So please hit me up in all the other on all my other venues, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, so on and so forth. It just helps the analytics. It helps spread the word. You do not want to miss today of what I'm going to talk about, because a lot of us will pay a couple of $1,000s to an individual, claim sharks, and then we don't have any desired outcome. So again, I don't want to give too much of the cat out of the bag. So like, subscribe, and follow. Hit me up. This show is all about whether we agree or disagree. This is not, although I do have an opinion on what I feel about my politics and whatever that may be. This is not a political show. This is a venue where we can agree to disagree, because we all support the American Constitution. I mean, I did it for 20 plus years in the Marine Corps, fighting in every climate and place. So with that being said, if you like what you hear, you like this awesome accent, hey, follow me and hit me up in all my other venues. You can comment on the show too if you have any questions. Today's the day that you want to ask, because this is something I'm very passionate about, and I ended up finding a little bit, just kind of feeling my way around, right? So, and if not, then check out again, go back to Sitch Radio, check something out there. Maybe you can check out Brian Colburn's. He has a couple of shows. Aaron Siebert, Combat Vet Vision. It's just a bunch of other cool stuff that you can go from there. All right. So I think this is all the pleasantries out of the way. So let's get right to it. I'm getting all my show notes all together. Right. So listen, in this show, too many veterans rely on guesswork, right? Word or word of mouth or incomplete information when it comes to your own VA claims and benefits. Some of you also rely on, and this is just my term. It is a common term in the industry, but we call them claim sharks. You go with an individual. Some of these people are also fellow veterans, which I kind of disagree. So you go in there, and you rely on them to get you where you need to be. Look, that's a mistake. Today we're going to break down a free resource that I've been trying to find this website, and I'm going to share it. I'm going to talk through it as well, and I'm going to show you how to build your own case together. I mean, it's not that hard, folks. It really isn't, right? So the veterans, and so this free resource is in the show description as well. Right before the hashtags, it's right there. You can go in there and follow me as well. So it's called the Veterans Benefits Knowledge Base. So it'll help you take control of your claims, understand the process, stop relying blindly on others. And it isn't about doing it alone. If you still want my help, I'll be more than glad to get on a Zoom call. I will talk you through it, and then show you what you can actually do with this. If you get your claim, I wasn't going to say if you get it up. How old am I? But you can get if you get an increase on your benefit, then I can help you do something with that money where you can still enjoy some of that and still put strategies together that will set you apart from everybody else. So if you're serious about your VA claim and benefit, today is your show. I mean, every Field Up show is your show, but today is it. So what's the problem with veterans guessing their claims? Well, most vets, we don't understand the claims process. We although that's their job, we tend to rely on VSOs, veteran service or officers or organizations, and we end up submitting weak or incomplete claims. Listen, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I got out of the Marine Corps twice, right? The first time, I had no freaking clue. I went to Tampa Tap. I had some VA guy at Camp Pendleton who was fucking pissed off. I don't know about why. He was a veteran Army guy. He just sat there and just kind of like yelled at us, and pretty much I didn't get shit done, right? I decided to come back in. So many years later, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this right. Same individual, somewhat yelling at us, whatever. But by that time, I was a little bit more high ranking, so I wasn't gonna take his shit. But what I'm saying is, okay, they helped me out, and they've gotten better. I did go back to Camp Pendleton a couple months back last year, and the process it's a little bit better, and they're more open to it. So here's the deal, folks. You gotta get familiar with the 38 CFR, 38 Code of Federal Regulations. None of this information that I'm sharing with you today is a secret. This is public information. Okay, so with so many resources available out there, again, pumping up my man Brian Colbert. The dude is an AI whiz. Among some of the other people that you surround yourself with whizzes, you become a wizard yourself. Maybe a baby wizard. That's what I am right now. And this isn't nothing new. I'm just a Mortar T guy, a grease monkey who got a little savvy and a little bit of Lance Corporal ingenuity, and who decided to take charge of my VA claims and benefits. Right. So a lot of us don't understand the process, because as I was getting out, I was like, okay, well, how does this work? What does this 100% mean? Is there a database? Again, there's very little information, and there's a lot of people out there who can claim that get you and guarantee you a lot of stuff, but at a cost. Everything's going to come at a cost where they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. You're going to have to pay their doctors or whatever the case may be. You're going to have to pay if you go through a lawyer. By the way, which is fine and dandy. If you're going to go that route, I highly recommend that you go through the VA website, and they have approved VSOs, people like lawyers. And if you're gonna pay for these people, actually went through the vetting process, and the VA says, hey, if you're gonna use a lawyer for your claims and benefits, use these guys. There's some free folks out there like Disabled American Veterans, VFW, Veterans of Foreign War, American Legion. They can help you do this for free. A lot of times it's just nothing against some of these folks, some older folks, not that tech savvy, but nonetheless, they can still guide you in the right direction. So today we're going to do it AI based. I'm going to share what I do, and then we can go from there. Okay, sound fair? And again, this isn't about blaming VSOs. It's about taking ownership. All right. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Now, mind you, Brian, hopefully I do Brian right. But I'm going to go ahead and share this website right quick. So take a look, folks. We're getting ready to do it. Boom. Boom. Get some. All right. So somebody had sent, I think it was Brian, as a matter of fact, man. I'm telling you, I keep pumping him up, but that guy's like friggin' Yoda. Anyways, he found this episode online from another advocate who was in the Marine Corps as well. But this website, their platform went paid. This platform is still free. And this is what I use in addition to the 38 CFR. So, by the way, I get no compensation. I don't know who these folks, how they put this website together. I use it quite a bit. I'm in here pretty much on a daily basis, just gathering information. So what I'm saying is do the research on your own and take charge of your own VA claims and benefits. So this is a Veterans Benefits Knowledge database or KB base. Again, there's no ads on here, and it's got a bunch of hyperlinks. It talks about VA. So if you want to learn about VA disability compensation, well, ta-da, here we go. You can ask the VA to decide, what does that mean when you submit your claim, and ask the VA to decide my claim button. I mean, it explains a bunch of stuff, right? You can file a VA disability claim, and it'll talk about nexus letters. If you were to do, speaking of nexus letters, what is that? You've heard me say about this, talk about this before. And all a nexus letter is from a medical provider that says, hey, so-and-so's medical condition is as likely as not service-connected, combat-related. It's got to have that verbiage, as likely as not. You've heard me have another somebody who a VSO. She's retired. Jane. I've had Jane on the show as well in the past, and she's talked about it. You can follow her on LinkedIn. She does put out a lot of material on there. Look, it talks about presumptive conditions, Agent Orange, burn pits. What is permanent and total disability, PNT, the golden ticket? It's got all these hyperlinks that you can go in here. Look, it even talks about education, employment, and benefits. What is the, VA? And hey, look, you want to work for the VA and get underpaid? Well, you can go in here and it'll tell you how to do it, right? It's about all kinds of stuff. So this is it talks about healthcare and things that it talks about TRICARE, among many other things. Talk about housing. So you could go in here and get lost and learn a lot about the VA system. One thing that I do want to point out is up right here on the master conditions list. You can go in here, folks, and click on this. And it's going to take you to the master condition list. This is where the VA gets your ratings. They go in here. And by the way, I've mentioned this before. The folks that do your VA compensation, most of them are not doctors. A lot of them are not service members. It's just a civilian who got trained on the 38 CFR. And they got that chart right here on the right side, and they're looking at that, and they're just reading through the stuff that you put out in the system, right? So you go in here, it says master condition list, A to Z, and they even break it down so you can see it on your mobile device. But and I'm not gonna click through everything, everybody, but it is. If you look right here on the little bar, it's a lot of information. But it is from A to Z. Look, abdominal pain, abnormal kyphosis, spinal contour, weight loss, abnormal weight loss, kidneys, acne, acne vulgaris, acne. It's got a ton of stuff. ADHD, agoraphobia. You could go in here and just get lost. So How do we put this all together? Okay, well, I'm going to click back here and get this somewhat set up. Okay. I'm going to set up my GPT right quick for VA claims and benefits, because hopefully I don't have anything that is I'm not supposed to be showing. Boom. Okay. All right. So as you're doing this, it's really easy. Okay, there we go. Now we got it all set up. All right, folks. So check it out. I'm going to go ahead and show you. So let's say this is your master list, right? Or you could go in here, master conditions list. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. You can actually highlight, because ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, all those platforms, they can't really go in really into the other little hyperlinks. So you can copy all this. Just do control. It's really easy. Look, you click anywhere on the page, you hit Control A. Now I just copied everything. You're going to do that and paste it onto ChatGPT, right? So that's just an example of what you can do. Okay. But let's go back to we're going to go back to the master condition list, everybody. And then, federal benefits list, combined ratings. I mean, you could go in here. This is what I was doing the other day. I was building another GPT. So, but I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing right quick. And I'm going to share a different screen so that way you can see it all. Okay. So give me just a second while I set this up right quick. Share screen. Because this is important, everybody. You have, again, at the end of the day, you have to take control of your VA's claims and benefits. A lot of us tend to rely on just other individuals, and then we end up giving thousands of dollars for somebody. So all that information that I just copied from that GPT, you go in here and you're going to query this is a GPT that I already built, VA disability claims and benefits. And these are just some folks and conversations that I've helped in the past. But you can just right here on the screen where it says new project, you click on that. You can name it whatever you want, and then go inside and then just go, I need you to act. Oops, I can't even spell anymore. Act like VA claim and benefit compensation evaluator utilizing the 38 CFR for VA claims and benefits. I need assistance putting my claim together and even walking myself and even going through va.gov. va.gov. The site is very confusing. Also use the following information from this website. And then you can just query that, hit enter, and guess what, folks? You just created a GPT that will help you with your VA claims and benefits. I mean, it is really that simple. And then you can just copy and paste the information, because the more you feed it, it's gonna go ahead and start learning more and more and more. And so once you go on the VA website, you're gonna go to my claims. If you put in a claim before, if let's say you're at 10% now, you are at and you want to get higher rating, all the letters, or you claim letters, the one that say, hey, we've made a decision on your case, or excuse me, we made a decision. You're gonna download all those letters, okay? Download them. You go to my downloads on your computer. You make sure that they're there, and then you're gonna put it all. You're gonna go to Chat GPT, and the little square right there. Here, I'll go ahead and share my screen again. That way we can, you leave out of here somewhat savvy on the VA claims and process. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I'm going to go to Chat GPT. Boom. So you see right here, this little button right over here. You click on that. It's going to say add photos and files. So a little window is going to pop up. I don't think my screen will show, but you go to your downloads. Or wherever you're saving all these files. Any claim letter, they're going to be automatically downloaded with the year and the month and date when the letter was released or sent to you, right, in the system. And then you're going to upload all those letters here. I'll just do, just for giggles and sits, I'll do one of mine, and you'll see it right there. So after you build this GPT and you gave it, this is just a simple instruction right over here. It's nothing new. Yes, you can also find GPTs in here. Search chats. You can put it here, VA claims and benefits. I wouldn't trust those. I mean, you can. I don't know who built them. I don't know how good they are. At least, if anything, I'm going to be the one messing up my own case. You know what I'm saying? So once you upload the letter, you can go in here and tell it, analyze, or you can I would recommend doing all your letters over the last couple of years. So that way it knows it. It goes, analyze these letters and see where we can capitalize and refile for additional compensation, as well as make other conditions secondary to others to tie it all in or better. And then you just hit enter on this, folks. It's going to analyze all your letters, everything that you upload, and it's going to come up with an action plan where it's just going to be, that much better. Let me see. Look, this is I'm going to see if I can, this is somebody that I was chatting with the GPT. And it'll say migrate, it'll come out with this. I mean, I hate it when this friggin' thing, talks about, start doing all these unnecessary emojis. But the main thing, folks, is that, I mean, you can go in here and look, phase 2, depression, anxiety secondary to, it'll tell you depression is secondary to tinnitus, chronic pain. So once you start tying all these things, let's say your tinnitus is a primary condition, right? Tinnitus is a primary condition. I stopped sharing so that way I can talk to you directly. Tinnitus is a primary condition. It's your primary condition. Well, now because studies have been shown and there's medical information already released that because you have tinnitus, you can get migraines, you get depression, you get anxiety and if you're losing your hearing, it's another level. So you can tie it all in secondary to that, so that way you get compensated for those secondary conditions because now you have leverage because you're already being compensated for it. Okay, so this disability claims as well as so a lot of the things that. What this will end up, you got to frame it in a way that, basically you're spoon feeding the information to that individual who's rating everything, and you're talking their language. This system is the VA compensation system is really outdated, basically using World War II language, which it's been, man, it's been like 70 years since World War II happened, and but we're still using their language and all these things that pretty much is NA. So, and whenever it gets changed, I don't know, but you want to basically put it on in a language that compensator understands, so that uh, you know you start getting compensated, and 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 basically you get your desired outcome. Now, are you going to get 100% all the time? Now, there's a lot of things that are going on right now. They're really looking into cases, so you don't want to go in there and kind of bullshit your way around. Okay, if you have it, great. If you don't, that's okay. There may be ways you could tie certain things to it. So, and if there's trauma, there's trauma. You can say, hey, look, getting out was really, because a lot of us goes through a lot of stuff. If you have hearing issues, yeah, that adds to depression, and among other things. So it's just the way that the verbiage that you use it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is buddy statements, or lay statements as they're called. You want This is why it's so important not to just, when you get out of the military, to completely like disappear and ghost your network, your friends. So if you get, and I've said this before, if you get out of the Marine Corps or the Army or whatever, and your LinkedIn is less than 500 people on it, you went wrong. Okay, you want to leave with your network, so that way you can reach out to them and say, hey, brother, I need you to write me a buddy statement. When I was in the military, remember when I used to fall asleep all the time during chow because I just couldn't sleep and I would start snoring, or I had migraines or whatever. Those are the buddies that you want to reach out to, and they're gonna write you a lay statement. And let me get you the form for buddy statements. It is I will get you the name here in just a second, because I was writing some this morning for, it's VA form 21-10210. Doesn't matter the date on that bad boy. It really doesn't. So, but you can write it for them. Say, hey, look, and using Chat GPT, hey, I need you to write me a lay statement. These are my conditions. Make it better, because if you make it that much better for your buddy, instead of them trying to recall information and like, oh shit, well, it's been like 10 years since I got out. Okay, great. Well, I'll give you and then send them that. Hey, look, this is what I'm going to write. Is this about right? Yes. Okay. You can use that form, or just a regular Word document, or that they turn into a PDF and that they sign with their contact information will suffice. But you want to get those letters. Also, letters from your wife, letter from your kids. Those are also, and you could grab all this information, and when you put a claim, you can add this as proof, because nothing says better that hey, look, I served with this individual. We were in the Marine Corps together. Yes, I recall these things, or we went to combat. These things happen, because that adds leverage to what you're. It's not just you saying it. Now you have a witness. Same thing with your family. Your family knows you better than anybody else. As a matter of fact, when you're doing a VA claims and benefits, when I'm doing a VA claims and benefits with a service member, I say, hey, where's your wife at? Or where's your significant other? Where's your significant other? Because as we start going head to toe, going over your claim, the wife or the other person like, oh no, he does this. Oh no, they do that. Oh no, he stops breathing. Oh no, yeah, he patrols the house. Oh, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, okay, and that's just things that we can keep throwing in your claim. Also, have good copies or information that you already established with that doctor. Nexus letters, going back to what I was saying earlier. If you do a word search on Nexus letters on the 38 CFR, it ain't going to be there. But all that letter is just a term that they use. It's a letter coming from your doctor or medical provider saying, hey, so-and-so, given that I've seen this individual with all their joint issues, their lack of cartilage and back issues, yes, it is likely as not that it is service connected, and from their deployments, because it is their condition is degenerative, and their back has no cartilage, blah blah. Unlike a regular individual in their 40s or 50s, whatever, that they've had, in comparison. Whatever, it's a medical letter, but it has to have that verbiage. Now you have a letter from a doctor that's got their license, their stamp, everything else. The VA is not going to argue against it because now you have medical proof. So if your doctor can actually provide a letter for other things, your sleep apnea, it really adds a lot more, and gives you leverage so that when you file, you get the desired outcome. What happens if you come back? There's things that I get to talk with a lot of vets. I'm like, oh, well, my case is closed, it's deferred or denied or whatever. Okay, well, that doesn't mean that it stops, right? You can keep refiling. And then as things that are deferred, when you get your VA outcome and it says deferred, it hasn't stopped. Even though the case may say closed, that deferred is that they're still doing research and looking into it. So that is actually a good thing. Case in point, the guy I just helped on my TikTok, if you go to my TikTok channel and everywhere else I posted it, you will see that initially he was 10%. A couple of months later, it was still 10%. He had a bunch of things deferred. Well, about a week ago, he got a letter saying, hey, it was you got 70% now. And he got back pay on top of that. So, and just because it's denied, and the things that were deferred that are now approved or you're getting compensated on, maybe those things, maybe you had depression or your hearing or some of those things were denied, or deferred. Now they're approved. Okay, well, the other things that were denied, now we can tie them as secondaries because that one thing is now approved. You see what I'm saying? That's how the VA works. So if you're not at 100% PNT, every year you should be refiling, or as soon as you get an outcome on something, you hit refile and you get the clock going, because that gets the process going. And working with somebody like me or doing it on your own, and you can ask ChatGPT, hey, what does deferred mean on the VA website on my claim? Take a look at this letter. What does all this mean? How can I refile? What are some things? That's how I started. And I got better and better and better. And so what I started doing, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to share this information. I'm going to help other veterans. And so I've gotten better and better just by the knowledge and learning through ChatGPT and doing a little bit of, some research on my own, and connecting myself with individuals in venues like Jane Babcock would be a good resource. Russell Levy at Veterans Transition Support. All these folks, you can find them on LinkedIn and on my social media as well. So if you want to hit them up, feel free. They put out a lot of good content out there, so that way you can get savvier and savvier on your stuff. So anyways, if you have any questions, you want to get educated, you want me to help you, I don't charge anything. All I ask is that, hey, listen, you're going to get this money. You're probably not, you don't have any insurance. You don't have any things. Let me show you what you can do, protect your family, and have this money now grow, and just don't buy dumb shit with it, right? So let me help you. Let me put some strategies, and then go from there. It's not, I will make, again, all the things how our company helps other folks on the financial side. These aren't things that are based on you and what you can afford. I'm not going to go out there and try to, put you on something that it just doesn't make sense financially, anything of the sort. So with that being said, folks, you got any questions, you go on my link tree. You can set up a 1-hour free strategy session. We can make it happen. If you want to look into your VA claims and benefits, all I ask is that get verified through the va.gov first, so that way we don't have to waste time doing that. So if you can log in all the way through without no issues, hit me up and I'll be more than glad to help you. So if you've been struggling with rumination, getting depressed, and all the other things that we kind of tend to get stuck on, hit me up. Let's have a conversation. But nobody here wants you to commit suicide or take that step that you just can't come back from, and we're left behind asking all ourselves all these questions. So hit me up. Let me be that conversation. I got a lot of resources I could put you that I can help you with. All right. So with that being said, folks, I think this is a good place to index. So I just want to say, Ais Tomas, Semper Fi, Ara, Daisuke, get some. I'll see you next week. Yut.